Good afternoon. My name is Maureen Cousin-Heath. I am the Hamilton Street Railway's Director of Transit. As the local transit provider for the City of Hamilton, we understand that you rely on us to provide dependable service that gets you where you need to go on time. Public transit has a direct impact on our customers' economic and academic opportunities, enables access to the supports and services that you need to lead a healthy and active life, and overall affects your quality of life. For this reason, it plays a vital role in advancing our city's mission to be the best place to raise a child and age successfully. The pandemic has been a unique and challenging time for our industry, and we have had to adapt and respond in record time. However, it has also been an opportunity for us to contribute to our local community in new ways. For instance, earlier this year, we used our re-envision public consultation bus to help administer 504 vaccine doses over 8 clinic days at 7 different locations. DARTS, HSR's specialized service contractor, also facilitated nearly 4,000 COVID-19 vaccination trips. HSR strives to provide a customer-focused system that is safe, reliable, inclusive, and accessible. And we continue to make service improvements to this end. Today, HSR has a fully accessible fleet of 273 low-floor buses with features including onboard announcements, ramps and kneeling features, and an interior configuration designed for personal mobility devices. Our system also features more than 1,500 accessible bus stops, and we are committed to ensuring that any future infrastructure meets AODA requirements. In addition, and informed by our guiding principles, we have adopted innovative local solutions to improve the customer experience for all our customers. Earlier this year, we installed prototype bus stop bench seating at stops where conventional benches could not be installed due to a lack of space. Based on the ACPD's recommendations, we made changes to the prototype that further improved accessibility. All of these improvements have contributed to greater integration between conventional and specialized transit services that support our residents' unique needs and abilities while ensuring you can get where you need to go with as much flexibility and independence as possible. As we plan for the future, we must continue to innovate and evolve so that we can continue to deliver quality service to our customers. Thank you for joining us today, and we value your feedback and questions that we'll respond to throughout today's session.
Manager of Accessible Transportation Services. Thank you for joining us today. With us, we have Shahan Aron, Chair, Transportation Working Group, Advisory Committee for Persons with Disabilities, City of Hamilton. Owen Quinn, Project Manager, Customer Loyalty Programs. Jay Adams, Senior Project Manager, Transit Customer Experience. And Mark Mindorf, Executive Director of DARTS. We would like to thank Cable 14 for their assistance in bringing this live recording to you today. We would also like to thank Canadian Hearing Services interpreters, Courtney Tobin, Kelly Sweers, Shannon Tate, and Leslie Sachin. I would like to open our meeting with the City of Hamilton Land Acknowledgement. The City of Hamilton is situated upon the traditional territories of the Erie, Neutral, Huron-Wendat, Haudenosaunee, and Mississaugas. This land is covered by the Dish with One Spoon Wampum Belt Covenant, which was an agreement between the Haudenosaunee and Anishinaabeg to share and care for the resources around the Great Lakes. We further acknowledge that this land is covered by the Between the Lakes Purchase, 1792, between the Crown and the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation. Today, the City of Hamilton is home to many Indigenous people from across Turtle Island, North America, and we recognize that we must do more to learn about the rich history of this land so that we can better understand our roles as residents, neighbors, partners, and caretakers. This has been an eventful year for accessibility in transit. In 2021, HSR was selected by the Ministry for Seniors and Accessibility to have its AODA compliance reviewed. We are pleased to report that we were found compliant on all sections of the Integrated Accessibility Standards regulation selected for review for both specialized transit delivered by DARTs and conventional transit provided on HSR buses. We continue to look for ways to improve accessibility and overall customer experience, including by consulting with the Advisory Committee for Persons with Disabilities Transportation Working Group to answer questions and receive their feedback and suggestions. I'd like to introduce Shahan Aron from the Transportation Working Group to tell you about the work they do. Over to you, Shahan.
Hello, everyone. I'm Shahan Aron, Chair of the Transportation Working Group and member of the Advisory Committee for Persons with Disabilities, more commonly known as ACPD. I'm here to give you a brief introduction to what we do at the Transportation Working Group and how we do it. Firstly, ACPD itself. We are a unique committee amongst all other advisory committees. We wear two hats. We are a subcommittee of the council, legislated by the province, to advise the council regarding preparation, implementation, and effectiveness of the accessibility plans according to the Ontarians with Disabilities Act and the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, the AODA. We are also an advisory committee in all matters regarding accessibility and matters pertaining to the AODA for the City of Hamilton. The Transportation Working Group is part of the ACPD that focuses on public transit or conventional transit, DARTs or paratransit, accessible taxis, and other modes of transportation, including e-bikes and e-scooters, and other future modes of transportation that are yet to come. Rideshare and other similar services don't fall under the umbrella of public transit yet. We normally don't have oversight on this. However, we are working towards updating our scope. We recently hosted a transportation collaborative roundtable to learn and share about the challenges we are facing and how we can better serve our community. Hamilton has a higher than average population of individuals who identify with having a disability and seniors compared to other cities and the national and provincial averages. As a working group, we are currently working on updating the ATS policies in collaboration with City of Hamilton staff and DARTs, updating ATS application form and process to be more inclusive, advising the council on the perils of e-scooters, and the recommendations from the Dillon report in collaboration with ATS. ATS is Accessible Transportation Services. Some things we will be working on during the year 2022 are remuneration for the accessible taxi drivers who were active during the pandemic, while the incentive program wasn't supporting them. The amount the rideshare companies pay to the city to not be accessible service, the taxi script program, and continued discussions on matters regarding DARTs, ATS, HSR, and Presto. At the Transportation Working Group, we are a group of Hamiltonians working to make our city more accessible and inclusive for all. We view everything that comes to us with the lens of equity, diversity, inclusion, and accessibility. If you are facing accessibility challenges, please come and talk to us. If it is transportation or transit related, it will be forwarded to us at the Transportation Working Group. If not, then to the appropriate working group. All members of ACPD and the Transportation Working Group is always eager to serve our community. And now over to Owen Quinn.
Hello, my name is Owen Quinn, Project Manager, Customer Loyalty Programs with Accessible Transportation Services, also known as ATS. I'm going to provide you with an overview of how the HSR and ATS is meeting the AODA integrated accessibility standards. First of all, there is a requirement and purpose for this meeting. The Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, known as the AODA, requires conventional transportation service providers, such as the HSR and City of Hamilton, to hold one public meeting annually. Conventional transit, HSR, and specialized transit, ATS and DARTs, services are to be addressed in the city's accessibility plan, which identifies, removes, and prevents barriers for persons with disabilities. Persons with disabilities have an opportunity to review and provide feedback on the accessibility of transit services. Format of meeting. Historically, this has been an in-person meeting. However, due to the COVID-19 pandemic, this year's meeting is in a live virtual format. This is to ensure the health and safety of all staff and participants. The meeting will include an update from transit staff on accessibility achievements to date and AODA compliance. The conventional fixed route transit, with respect to the HSR, they have accessible buses, 100% of the fleet, and accessible bus shelters as well. The accessibility plan looks at the AODA compliance for conventional transit. As a result, the HSR is compliant with the following requirements. Fares. Fares for persons with disabilities must be the same or less than fares for persons without disabilities. No fare is charged for a support person. Pre-boarding announcements. There are automated electronic pre-boarding announcements of the route, direction, destination, or next major stop. On-board announcements. Automated verbal announcements and electronic visual display of all destination points or stops while vehicle is en route. General responsibilities. This covers the deployment of lifting devices and ramps, ensuring adequate time to safely board and deboard vehicles. Courtesy seating. Buses will have clearly marked priority and courtesy seating on all vehicles for persons with disabilities. Allocated mobility aid spaces. There's a minimum of 2 spaces per vehicle to accommodate wheelchairs or scooters. Accessibility plans for conventional transit. This is a process for managing and taking action on customer feedback. It also covers this meeting, the annual public meeting on accessibility, as well as procedures to deal with accessibility equipment failures. In addition, the AODA requirements look at bus stop and shelter design. HSR has worked with the city's advisory committee for persons with disabilities, known as the ACPD, regarding accessible bus stop design criteria and an identified action plan to ensure accessible bus stops and shelters. With respect to specialized transit, ATS includes the following: eligibility and registration for service completed by ATS, trips are delivered by DARTS Transit, and the DARTS fleet includes accessible vehicles with ramps and also non-accessible vehicles. The accessibility plan also has requirements for AODA compliance for specialized transit. As a result, ATS and DARTS are compliant with the following requirements. Categories of eligibility. There are 3 categories of eligibility: unconditional, which is eligibility for all trips; temporary; and conditional. This covers seasonal, where the eligibility would be for trips for winter months only. Fare parity. Fare parity between conventional and specialized transit. Must be the same fare structure. Fares for support persons. No fare is charged for a support person. Hours of service. The same hours and days of service as conventional transit. Booking. Same-day service must be provided to the extent available. There must be accessible methods for reservations as well, such as the DARTS website, which ensures this. Coordinated service. Connections are required with specialized transportation services in adjacent municipalities, only where there is a continuous urban area. Visitors. Visitors are eligible for DARTS if they are registered for service in their home jurisdiction, or if they meet the requirements for ATS. And accessibility plans for specialized transit. There must be a process required for estimating demand and reducing wait times for service. Also, similar to the conventional system, there must be procedures to deal with accessibility equipment failures. Comments and feedback. HSR is continuing to accept survey responses until December 22nd. These can be submitted online through the Engage Hamilton platform at engage.hamilton.ca. In addition, comments and feedback can be sent by email to ats@hamilton.ca. There are comment cards and surveys available at the HSR ticket office. This is located at the Hamilton GO Station, 36 Hunter Street East. Cards and surveys are also available at Hamilton City Hall and any of the municipal service centers. Comment forms and surveys can be dropped off at the locations previously noted, or they can be mailed to ATS Customer Service, 2200 Upper James Street, P.O. Box 340, Mount Hope, Ontario, LOR 1WO. In terms of next steps, if you require a copy of this presentation in an alternative format such as print or braille, contact ATS Customer Service by phone 905-529-1212 or by email ats@hamilton.ca. HSR staff will review comments received for consideration and action. Transit Accessibility Public Meeting is held every year, so the next meeting is in 2022. Thank you for listening to this presentation and for providing any comments or feedback. Over to you, Jay.
Jay, could you unmute your microphone, please?
Sorry about that. Thank you. Thank you, Owen. I'm very pleased to be before you today to speak about some of the initiatives we have underway at HSR, sorry for the technical difficulties. My name is Jay Adams, and I'm a part of the Customer Experience and Innovation team at HSR, which includes our customer service, social media, and public engagement functions. I'm also a project manager for the Re-envision the HSR initiative. Like 2020, 2021 was a challenging year for public transit across Ontario and Canada. Our main focus every day has been to ensure that we continue to be able to put our service out onto the road. We've experienced many challenges in our day-to-day operations, and we're very proud to have been able to provide a vital service to the residents of Hamilton during this time. I want to acknowledge the efforts of our staff for their dedication to the service, and also to our customers for their patience and adaptability during this time. Working together, we've been able to successfully keep our city moving. After over a year of operating at a modified, reduced level of service, we were pleased to return to our regular weekday service across most of our transit routes in September. We've also seen the gradual return to 100% seated capacity on our buses, which has reduced the number of instances of pass-bys of our customers waiting at stops. At its lowest point, HSR ridership was 26% of normal volume during the pandemic. We expect that overall in 2021, our forecasted annual ridership will be approximately 44%. We expect ridership to gradually increase throughout 2022 for a forecasted overall annual ridership of approximately 83% of normal. Fortunately, the province of Ontario and the federal government have provided safe restart funds to ensure the continuity and certainty of transit service in large municipalities across Ontario, including HSR in Hamilton. We know the pandemic has been especially difficult for people with disabilities. Based on a recent survey, 70% of respondents said they're riding conventional transit less often, and almost 60% said they're riding much less often. In order to support the return of ridership to transit, HSR has launched the Ready to Ride campaign to welcome our customers back to transit when they feel safe to do so, and to ensure that transit remains safe and strong into the future. The campaign is centered around our 7-point plan to keep transit safe and strong as we emerge from the pandemic. It also includes a number of important references to our 6 guiding principles from our Re-envision the HSR initiative. Number one, we continue to follow public health guidelines and advice. HSR and ATS DARTs remain committed to the health and safety of our customers and staff. We continue to follow public health guidance from the Provincial Medical Officer of Health, City of Hamilton Public Health, and the Emergency Operations Center. Number two, we require masks on board our vehicles. Wearing a mask or face covering is required in enclosed public spaces under City of Hamilton Bylaw 20155. In addition to Hamilton's face covering bylaw, the Reopening Ontario Act 2020 also requires you to wear a face covering or mask in public indoor and some outdoor spaces, or whenever physical distancing is a challenge, such as on transit. The mask or face covering should cover your nose, mouth, chin without gaps. Number three, we clean our buses frequently and thoroughly. HSR has added additional cleaning measures to our regular cleaning routine. All high-touch surfaces on HSR vehicles are sanitized nightly with disinfecting wipes. Buses receive a full interior clean and antimicrobial fogging twice a month. We monitor, number four, we monitor for crowding and keep you updated through our real-time products. Following public health guidelines, HSR has returned to 100% capacity. Our operations team is constantly monitoring for crowding and adjusting service levels in real time to minimize impacts when available to do so. Traveling on an alternative route may help you avoid a crowded bus. Our suite of HSR Now products provide real-time, 24/7 access to service information that can help you plan your trip. HSR Now products include our bus check phone line, our online trip planner at hsrnow.hamilton.ca, our new text messaging Next Bus service, and our new free mobile app available on iOS or Android devices. Earlier this year, we were very fortunate to work with Mohawk College's Accessible Media Production Program to conduct an accessibility and usability review of the new mobile app, to identify opportunities to meet the updated AODA requirements for digital products, and to look for ways to make these products more accessible for people with disabilities. We're currently working with the vendor who created the app for us to make these improvements. Number five, we provide touchless payment options. As part of this campaign, we've launched a number of fare incentives on Presto, beginning on November 1st. Regular travelers can now earn free fare after 8 rides per week with HSR's enhanced loyalty program until December 31, 2022. Children aged 6 to 12 can now ride for free with a Presto card until April 30th, 2023. And try our new HSR MyRide on-demand service in Waterdown. Customers ride free on weekdays from 5 a.m. to 10 a.m. with a Presto card in the months of November and December. Presto e-tickets are a new, convenient, and touchless way to pay your fare. Presto e-tickets can be purchased, activated, and displayed for payment using a smartphone. Number 6, we keep our staff safe. The health and safety of our customers and staff is our top priority. To reduce the risk of transmission of COVID-19, HSR has numerous health and safety measures in place, including daily health screening, masking, physical distancing, and enhanced cleaning. And number 7, we protect transit's future by advocating for our riders. HSR's guiding principles were informed by feedback from almost 12,000 interactions with customers, residents, and stakeholders. These principles are the foundation for future action plans, such as new service features, a reconfigured network, and routes that will be implemented over time, as well as customer experience improvements. One of these 6 guiding principles focuses on honoring equity, diversity, and inclusion within our transit service. This principle includes our target outcome related to removing accessibility barriers across conventional transit. We want everyone to be able to access transit services that meet their transportation needs. As we work towards this goal, we will proudly achieve compliance with all accessibility standards. We will constantly explore opportunities to become more accessible. And we will work collaboratively with people with disabilities and their service providers to eliminate or mitigate barriers to access. Early next year, we will begin to unveil specific action plans to support this important initiative. In addition, we will be continuing our collaboration with McMaster University's Department of Civil Engineering to plan for the reconfiguration of our transit network over the remaining years of the city's 10-year local transit strategy. The strategy is focused on enhancing service and growing ridership on key traffic corridors, commonly referred to as the BLAST network. In September of 2021, the city implemented year 5 of the strategy with improved service along the A-Line Express route, between the new all-day GO train service out of West Harbor GO Station and Hamilton's International Airport. Additional enhancements were made on Route 44, which is considered the future S corridor of the BLAST network. We've also enhanced connectivity at Heritage Green. A key focus for these changes is improving service across the mountain in Hamilton and also providing critical access to new job opportunities. Before I close, I just want to stress the importance of receiving feedback from our customers. We very much value our customers' insights as they help us to know where our service is working well and where we need to improve. Customers can share their questions, feedback, and complaints with us by phone, in person, over email, and through social media. In addition to our customer service options, we also regularly participate in the Transportation Working Group of the city's Advisory Committee for Persons with Disabilities, and we very much value the feedback from the members of the working group. And with that, I will turn it back over to Michelle.
Thanks, Jay and Owen, for your presentations, your great informative presentations as usual. To start with, I'm going to give you an update on accessible transportation services. And to start with, I want to talk a bit about COVID-19. As Jay told you, HSR and ATS continue to follow provincial guidelines, and we work closely with our colleagues in public health services and the Emergency Operations Center. Bylaw 20 155 continues to be in effect. Masks or face coverings must be worn in enclosed public places, including on HSR and DARTS vehicles. The HSR Customer Service Center at Hamilton Go Center, 36 Hunter Street East, is open Monday to Friday, 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. The HSR Transit Center, Mountain Transit Center at 2200 Upper James Street remains closed. I'm just going to summarize the current COVID-related service adjustments on DARTS. We still have vehicle capacity limits. We have increased capacities for most vehicles to up to 2 unrelated passengers who are wearing masks and who have passed screening. Clients not wearing masks travel on isolation vehicles where there is a barrier behind the driver and additional cleanliness and personal protective equipment procedures are in place. Screening at time of reservation includes screening for travel to critical medical care and to ask if a mask will be worn. For everyone, screening occurs at time of travel. At the end of 2020, the Office of the City Auditor General completed its City Council ordered review of ATS processes. With funding from the Provincial Audit and Accountability Fund, ATS retained Dillon Consulting to assist us in responding to the City Auditor's recommendations. The Dillon Consulting report went to the Audit, Finance, and Administration Committee on October 7th, 2021. ATS was very excited to work with these knowledgeable and experienced experts. Our next step is to review their resulting recommendations internally and report our own staff recommendations back to Council. We will be investigating service options to meet the unique travel needs of residents according to their functional abilities, so they can participate in the community with as much independence and flexibility as possible, looking at a sustainable family of services approach. In 2021, we saw the introduction of Presto on DARTS. A bit of history. In July 2020, Hamilton City Council approved the removal of paper media, so HSR paper bus tickets and paper monthly passes, from circulation. The Presto fare card system was approved by Council and implemented with the intent of replacing these legacy paper tickets and monthly passes. And Presto was fully implemented on the HSR conventional transit by the end of 2020. Presto finalized the solution to adapt Presto card readers for use on DARTS vehicles in 2021, and we moved fully to the Presto fare payment system on DARTS as of July 1st, 2021. We also have a new process to allow for a mail-in option for people eligible for Golden Age passes who live in long-term care facilities or who are otherwise shut in at home. The Presto e-tickets that Jay spoke about are accepted on both HSR and DARTS. And again, these can be downloaded to a cell phone from the App Store or Google Play. We have been accepting survey responses and other feedback leading up to this meeting, and we will continue to accept feedback until December 22nd, following tonight's presentation, as Owen told us. Following this, we will compile results and provide an update to the Advisory Committee for Persons with Disabilities. Here is some of the feedback we have had to date about accessible transportation services. We had a comment about how do not leave unattended status works on DARTS. Do not leave unattended status is for clients who cannot be left at a destination without someone there to receive them. DARTS will provide transportation to passengers who are designated do not leave unattended, but all passengers who have this designation must have an authorized person available to receive the DARTS passenger at the trip destination. DARTS drivers cannot wait longer than 5 minutes at a destination before needing to proceed to their next scheduled trip. Should a situation arise where there is no one available to receive the passenger, the DARTS driver will contact dispatch and wait for instruction. Attempts to reach a caregiver at the destination, they will attempt to reach a caregiver at the destination or the emergency number found in the client file. Should DARTS be unable to reach a caregiver through the emergency contact, the passenger may, if possible, be returned to their original pickup location. In all instances, the passenger will remain on the vehicle until a caregiver can be reached for further direction. When a final destination has been determined with a caregiver or emergency contact, the passenger will be scheduled to travel to this destination. We also received some questions about payment of fares on DARTS and billing on DARTS. ATS is not currently setting up any new accounts for billing from individual DARTS customers now that we have Presto functionality on DARTS. To pay for your ride, getting a Presto card is the best option. Presto is now fully functional on DARTS, and you can easily load money or your monthly or yearly pass on Presto. The move to Presto from paper fare like tickets and paper passes for the collection of fare on HSR and DARTS was a decision of council and is now how ATS tracks fares collected on DARTS via Presto taps. A one-time fee of $6 on Presto will get you a card and many benefits, such as the ability to load any dollar amount or pass in person at any Fortino's or Shoppers Drug Mart store across Hamilton, as well as at the Hunter Street GO station and some municipal service centers. These are City Hall, Stony Creek, Ancaster, and Dundas. You can also create a Presto account online to protect your balance and load your Presto card remotely from the comfort of home. A Presto card can be used with 11 transit agencies in Ontario, and you can easily transfer to Go Transit, HSR Transit, or Burlington Transit using your Presto card. In addition, the HSR Fare Loyalty Incentive Program also applies to Presto on DARTs. For example, right now, as part of the Fare Incentive Program, after the 8th trip, the rest of your trips in the same week are free from Monday to Sunday. One comment we received asked why some people who do not use mobility devices are eligible for accessible transportation services. ATS adheres to the Accessibility for Ontarians with Disabilities Act, which obligates specialized transit providers to determine eligibility for service according to functional barriers to regular transit use due to disability, and includes all disabilities, not only physical ones. About the taxi script program, someone commented, the taxi script books need to be updated to a card or account you can access with a scanner or mobile app. As someone with low vision, filling out those many taxi scripts is a challenge, time-consuming. Thank you for that comment and for pointing out the accessibility challenges attached to using the current taxi script program. We value this feedback as HSR Fare Revenue is currently investigating options for the improved delivery of the taxi script service. And last, we had a lovely comment about the services provided by DARTs. The comment says, phone staff and drivers have always been most patient, courteous, professional, and very professional drivers. Thank you all for helping me to go to city rec centers for exercise 3 times a week, volunteering at Good Shepherd on Sundays, and visiting friends and my doctor in Stony Creek from Dundas. And now I'd like to introduce you to Mark Mindorf, Executive Director of DARTs. Over to you, Mark.
Hello, my name is Mark Mindorf, Executive Director of DARTs, and I'm here to address some questions specific to the DARTs service. Now, one customer commented that they didn't like that we used taxis for DARTs trips. Now, taxi vehicles are used as a last resort when no other alternative would provide the passenger with a ride on time for their destination. Now, if the ride is not satisfactory, the passenger can always contact Accessible Transportation Services and describe the experience to the ATS customer service representatives. Taxi rides are meant to be a rare occurrence, as every effort is made to use DARTs vehicles where possible. Now, the next comment, we also have a comment that many DARTs vehicles cannot accommodate 3 wheelchairs. so the customer's family cannot travel together. DARTS uses smaller vehicles that provide the general demand capacity for wheelchairs. For large groups of wheelchair passengers traveling the same destination, DARTS can arrange to provide multiple vehicles to travel to the same destination at the same time. Last, we've had a couple of COVID-related comments. The first comment is many drivers don't wipe safety belts and grab bars when I get off the vehicle. Some say they do it at the end of shift. If you think that drivers are not following policy, you can contact ATS and describe the experience to the ATS customer service representatives. DARTS will follow up with the driver in question to ensure that they are following all policies in force at the time of your ride. Now, the next comment is, it's interesting that some vehicles have plastic dividers between drivers and riders, but recently not so many. Now, the plastic dividers are only in the smaller MV vehicles due to the relative smaller size of the vehicles. This is the only way that we can ensure social distancing between the passengers and drivers. Thanks very much for the great questions, and I turn it back over to Jay Adams.
Thanks, Mark. We've received 4 questions that we want to touch on today. The first comment and question is, I'm looking forward to sidewalks on transit routes being cleared next winter. What will be happening this winter as snow clearing is a big issue for people with disabilities? We sometimes hear from customers about the difficulties they have in accessing stops during winter weather, either because the stop has not been cleared or the sidewalks leading to the stop are not cleared. Recently, Hamilton City Council approved a program that will ensure city sidewalks along transit routes are cleared as part of the city's snow clearing operations. This program will begin in the winter of 2022-2023. For this upcoming winter season, our pre-existing snow clearing protocols will be in place. These include the clearing and salting of all HSR stops, shelters, and terminals, according to our operational standards. The City of Hamilton's snow and ice bylaw requires property owners or occupants to clear snow and ice within 24 hours after the end of a snow event from sidewalks near their property. Unfortunately, we know this doesn't always happen successfully. Our operators regularly report issues that they see, and we're often able to have these issues addressed quickly. In addition, if transit customers experience issues with accessing their stop, the best thing they can do is contact us through one of our customer service channels, and our team will investigate and take the appropriate action as soon as possible. The second question we received is, what is being done to minimize crowding on buses and to ensure as much space as possible is available for people with disabilities so that customers using personal mobility devices are not passed by while waiting for a bus? This is a very important question. Now that we have returned to 100% seated capacity on buses, we regularly track and monitor when we are not able to board a customer due to the bus being too full. This includes tracking when the customer being passed is using a personal mobility device. This tracking helps us to understand where and when these issues may be occurring, and when they are impacting customers with disabilities, so that our operations team can make decisions about what type of bus is traveling on which route, and also where we need to adjust service to meet the demand. While the number of pass-bys remains low for us with our current operations, we still want to target getting to 0 pass-bys so that no customers are left behind. This is another area where we rely on customer service feedback as well. In addition to our operational capacity, we also know that during the pandemic, it was sometimes more challenging for people with disabilities or who had special needs to access the designated priority or courtesy seating areas on buses. For this reason, HSR will be providing more education and awareness around these seating areas to educate all customers about how the priority and courtesy seating areas are to be used. In addition, we should note that over the next few years, HSR will be purchasing buses as part of scheduled fleet replacements. This offers us another opportunity to explore what the latest features and amenities are available for physical design of buses to support our passengers with disabilities. The third question we received is, what is being done to make stops more visible, comfortable, and accessible? As Maureen mentioned earlier, HSR has over 2,300 stops across our network, and almost 70% of those will be AODA compliant by end of year, up from 65% at the end of 2020. HSR has 719 accessible bus shelters in our network, up from 691 at the end of 2020. By the end of this year, 101 AODA compliant stop pads will have been constructed. As part of our annual plans, we identify opportunities to improve the amenities at our stops, which may include installing or updating concrete pads, installing amenities such as benches, or installing shelters where warranted. This assessment can take into account the local residents' needs, the amount of traffic boarding or waiting at a stop, the availability of space, accessibility requirements, and right-of-ways for sidewalk users. In addition to this annual work, HSR is also piloting a prototype of a bus stop pole and a bench for customer seating at some stop locations. This is a potential solution for existing HSR bus stops where conventional benches have been requested but cannot be installed due to a lack of space. Based on feedback we received about the design, we've included grab bars with high visibility grips, yellow and black reflective tape on the base of seats for people who are partially sighted, and increased the seat size and the base plate for better stability. We're currently gathering feedback about this prototype from customers who use these stop locations. In addition to these important investments in comfort and accessibility, we will be exploring ways to increase the visibility of our stops over time. We'll also be improving the quality of information at stops related to our real-time trip planning tools so that customers can know how to find out when their next bus will arrive. And finally, the fourth question we received is, can you explain how often drivers receive sensitivity training to assist those with disabilities, always keeping in mind that there are visible and invisible disabilities? Thank you for this question. All of our operators receive comprehensive training when they first join our service. In addition, for any changes or updates to regulations, policies, or practices that govern the service provided to people with disabilities, we communicate these changes to our operators using our internal processes. This includes information related to both visible and invisible disabilities. However, we recognize that over the lifespan of the career of some of our operators, more regular training could also be beneficial. Through our Re-envision the HSR initiative, we have identified several opportunities to increase the awareness and engagement of our employees to provide an even better customer experience. As we enter the next phase of this project, focused on action planning, we want to bring some of these opportunities forward for review with our leadership at the City of Hamilton to ensure our operators, and in fact, all of our staff, have the tools they need to provide an exceptional customer experience. As with all aspects of our service, we very much value hearing from our customers directly about the great and the not so great experiences that they have. This information is very valuable to both our operations team as well as our whole division to identify priority areas of focus for our work. So please continue to share your feedback with us always. Thank you, and I'll pass back to Michelle now.
Thanks, Jay, and thanks, Mark, for helping to answer some of the feedback and questions we received so far. We are continuing to take feedback, again, related to today's event until December 22nd. So just to repeat, this can be submitted online on the Engage Hamilton platform at engage.hamilton.ca. Comments and feedback can be sent by email to ats@hamilton.ca. Comment cards and surveys are still available at the HSR ticket office at Hamilton GO Station, 36 Hunter Street East, or City Hall or municipal service centers. And finally, comment forms and surveys can be dropped off at the locations previously noted or mailed to ATS Customer Service, 2200 Upper James Street, P.O. Box 340, Mount Hope, Ontario, L0R 1W0. I'd also like to remind everybody, further to Jay's comment about feedback, that if you have trip-related feedback, complaints, or commendations, please call them into us. We're very interested to hear. All feedback is logged and tracked, and complaints are investigated. For ATS feedback, call 905-529-1212. For HSR feedback, call 905-528-4200. I'd like to apologize for the delay in the live caption feed. We will ensure that the captions missing are applied to the video for later viewing. And now I'll close by saying thank you, everyone, for participating in our annual Accessibility Information event, and see you next year.